welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to be canning chili, pressure canning chili. Please bear with me if I am sweating like crazy. I think the last time I checked, the heat index outside was 98 degrees. It is 88 degrees in the house. We don't have AC, so why not can and make it a little warmer in here? I have the day off tomorrow. We got to get her done. So just a few little things here. I have a sterile brush. I use this brush only for sterilizing my canning jars. It's not used for anything else. You want to wash these out every time. You're going to need... put your jars in and take your jars out. You're going to need one of these little jar clamps. We got this here. This works out handy dandy because you need your lids for the tops of your jars. You got to get them simmering pretty good first. You don't want to put your fingers in there. Mike told me a story about his dad used to use like little hamburger tongs or whatever, and that didn't work so well. But nowadays we got one of these that's pretty useful.
It's got a magnet on it, right?
It's got a magnet on it.
Perfect.
So it just lifts them right out of there, and I'll show you that when we get that far. You're also going to want a type of ladle to get the chili out. I got a little rubber spatula. Any of you that have joined me before this will be like, that's not the same spatula. All this stuff I only use for canning. Mike, after I cleaned up after the last one, I went to work the next morning, decided to cook eggs with my other one and melted it. So I got a brand new spatula out of it.
I am a carpenter, not a cooker.
You're going to want one of these canning funnels to help get your food in the jars. And you will see that process too when I get there. You're going to want lids and rings. This canner can hold 7 quarts at a time, or you can get 16 pints. We're going to be doing our chili in quarts today. A pint would not be enough for Mike. A quart's barely enough for the two of us, so we're going to be doing quarts today.
It would be if I had to eat it with a bird spatula.
So I got 7 lids starting to simmer back there, which I'll show you in a minute. I got 7 rings. You want to get your jars ready.
Oh, sorry, those are wide mouth, right?
Yeah, these are wide mouth jars.
Yep.
I just happen to have more wide mouth jars, but you can use regular mouth too. The one thing you want to do first, even before you start sterilizing your jars, because you do not want to waste time, is you're going to want to run your finger around the top of this and feel for any chips or cracks. If you got any chips or cracks, just throw your jar away. It's not good for anything. So once you do that, you can go ahead, take some hot water, really swish out your jars with your handy dandy. Get in there, get around the outside, the inside. Your jars have to be warm or hot when you go to put your stuff in, whatever you're canning, your chili, your potatoes, your soups, whatever it is. So what I do is after I sterilize the jar, I just fill it with hot water. And that keeps that jar nice and hot. And then as I go, I just dump that water out. A couple ways you could do that. You can just rinse them out under hot water as you go. If you have an actual dishwasher, you can run it just on a hot water cycle without any detergents and stuff in there. That'll work the same way. I don't have that luxury, but I just, I fill them up with hot water. It keeps them nice and warm, and then I'm able to work with that. But I think we're going to get over to the canning side of it, so I'll be with you in just a second. So we're back. Just move over to the other side. Here's our chili. I like to use an electric roaster. You can make large amounts of that. It doesn't seem to burn. All you want to do is prepare your chili, however you want to prepare it. I added just started having green peppers. So I had some red peppers. I got onion, garlic, chili powder. Got your tomato sauce, tomato paste. I got a couple chunks of tomatoes in there. I actually like beans in mine. So we had a bunch of dried beans. Just remember, you got to at least soak your dried beans 8 hours. I started soaking them last night. I think they were soaking for 13, 14 hours by the time that we're ready to put them in there. What I did forget is how much more they grow. So I do have a few extra beans. So that might be an upcoming video where I just can a mixture of beans for later purposes. Because you either throw them or you save them, right?
Joe had jumping beans on the table this morning. They grew out of the pot.
Anyway, being serious here. Okay. So we got nice hot. I think I've had this simmering for a couple hours now. Cook your meat first. You don't want to put it in there raw. I was talking to someone. I do agree. I think it'd be kind of big and chunky. Number 2, you don't know how much. So if you cook your burger and you're adding it in there, you're going to know you got the right amount. So this is kind of the consistency I came up with. I added my seasonings. One last thing is, if you like it spicy or seasoned a lot, just remember when this cans, it gets stronger. So if you're putting in red pepper flakes or jalapenos or whatever you want to put in there, it'll get a lot spicier when it cans. So maybe keep it down like one notch below where you actually want your heat or your spices. It will get stronger. But we got everything going here. We got our lids going here. We got them kind of simmering around in there. This is just getting to a boil. We got a little tray. Your canner should come with 2 trays. You always have that bottom tray in there. The second tray is if you're doing pints. We're doing quarts today. So after you get your 8 pints in there, you'd put that on top of that. We're doing quarts today. You want about 2 inches of water in the bottom. A little different from the water bath that you can do the canning from water bath. So at 2 inches of water in there, it's going good. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to get a jar going here, kind of show you how to do that. Get the air bubbles out. Get that in the canner, and then after that I'm going to catch up with you as I put the last one in and show you how to actually can it, and what you need to do, how long, venting pressures, all that stuff. So I'm just grabbing one of my jars that I have the hot water in. So I have this funnel to make it a lot easier to get it in here. So we're just going to fill this jar, and I like to do it to about right there. Kind of right by that little bottom ringer just below it. I know they sell measuring tools to do that, but I bought one, and I will tell you, I don't mean to offend anybody out there that uses them. It was a little bit of waste of money for me because it ends up being like right there. So if you're doing liquids, like let's say you're canning a broth, a bone broth, any types of juices or anything like that, you would not need to do this step. Anything other than that, maybe if you watched the canning potatoes video or my currants video, you kind of see that. But you want one of these because you're gonna think there's no way there's air bubbles in there, but you're gonna want to kind of go around the sides a little bit on each jar and kind of down the middle to make sure you don't have any air bubbles in there. Air bubbles could increase the chance of your jar shattering in the canner. If your jar, and this sucks and it has happened, if your jar shatters in the canner, you go through the whole process, the whole venting, the whole pressure time, you got it up there, you're so excited, it comes down, you go to take it off the top, you take the top off, and one of your jars shattered, you got to throw it all away. I know you put lids and rings on there, but if you watch my potato one, they don't seal in there. You don't know when they sealed in there. You don't know when that jar cracked, and that's glass shards. Not worth it to me. Anyway, so you want to make sure you kind of run around in there a little bit, get them air bubbles out. Another thing too is make sure you clean the rim. I know back on the currant one and the potato one, not so much to clean off the rim. Here you can see there is stuff to clean off the rim. We want to do our best to seal them. If it doesn't crack or bust in the canner, the pressure canner, but it doesn't seal, you could just probably eat it right away. But nothing like you're gonna do 14 quarts of chili, none of them seal. Got a lot of chili to eat there in a couple days. So we just want to make sure that you want to see it nice and clean. You can use a rag for this. I like to try to, save the environment as much as I can. But to me, the sanitation of just having a nice, clean paper towel is where I do it. So we're pretty good there. So this is where this little tool comes in. We got our lid simmering right here. Magnet pulls right out. You'll have to reach in there and get that out. You're going to put that on there. And you want to put your ring on and just hand tight. You don't have to crank this. You don't have to until you can't do anymore. This is going to be hot. You just put hot chili in there. Just hand tighten. These lids will seal if cleaned properly and everything's working properly. It's just hand tight because when you put them in there, you don't want them just to pop off. Sounds silly, but it's kind of how it is. So this is what this is for. This is hot. You don't want to try to pick this up and set it in the boiling water there. And it is boiling now. So you just grab that and set it in here. This should fit 7 quarts in there. So I got 6 more to go and probably a whole another one to go later today too. We got my first one in here. I'm gonna get the other 6 filled. I'll catch up on you at the end of that 6th one, or the 7th one, I guess. I have 6 more to fill, but that last one, I'll catch up with you again and we'll pick up from there. And I'll kind of show you our next step from there. So we're back. I got all 7 of my jars in there. You got to make sure they're not touching, they're spaced out. It can take a little bit of tiny work in there, but you can do it. It's a little bit of a tight fit. You can do it. You don't want them smacked up against the side of this or up against each other. They're going to rattle a little bit in there. You want to give them a little bit of room. I did have a friend ask me the other day, can you prepare these ahead of time or kind of do them all at once? Or I like to do it as a go, because you know when you get that lid out of there, that lid's hot. Yeah, a little messy. Didn't say it's the cleanest thing to do chili. The lids are hot, the jars are hot, the bands are hot. You get them in there. As you start getting your jars in there, you can kind of finagle them around. That's just what I've done. You kind of get down, you do kind of that checklist on every jar. Make sure you're getting your air bubbles out, all that stuff, wiping the rims down. I have done a couple times when I have a friend. Sorry, I'm sweating. It's like 90 degrees in here, but I had a friend and we did a little assembly line one where, I'd wipe the rims off and she'd put the lids on. That's okay too. But now that we had all 7 jars in there, water's boiling. We had 2 inches of water in there. We're going to go ahead and get that lid on there. Now, during this time, it's going to take some time. You need to get this to a nice visible steam. Like you can feel that there's pressure coming out of there, a little air coming out of there. This has got to be a good steam. Once you get that good steam going, it's got to go for 10 minutes. And once that gets going, I will check up with you at that point and tell you the next step. Thank you. So I'm back. Got it at a good full-blown steam, and I know it's a little hard to see. You probably see some of it coming up in this area. That's what we want to see. So we got it at a good steam now. We don't have our weight on there. That's what we're going to do next. No weight on there. We got this popped up here. We're going to stay at 0 pressure. You do not need to worry during the steaming phase about watching the pressure, because we actually have to put the weight on that to bring the pressure up. Anyway, so we got a good steam going. We got to leave this going for 10 minutes before we can put the weight on there. So I'm going to start the timer now, and I will check back in 10 minutes. So we're back. It's been steaming for 10 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and put the weight on. I'm in lower elevation, so we just have the 1 ring on here. That's all we need. I know at some certain elevations, you do need another ring. They do come with 2. I'm not going to go ahead and tell you what elevation that is. I don't know, because I don't live at that elevation, but I know that's why they give you a second one. Lower elevations, you don't need that. That is something you would need to research yourself. They just slide on and off. But on lower elevation, you just need 1. They're both the same weight, so you can't screw up and put the wrong one on there. But it's been 10 minutes now. So at this point now, we're going to take this weight and we're going to set it right up over here. Now, what we need to do now is get this pressure to at least 10 pounds. I like to get it between 10 and 15. That gives you a little wiggle room. Right now, I have the stove on it high to build the pressure. You're going to have to adjust that according to yours. I can't tell you the exact temperature or the exact number it needs to be on. Every stove is different. But I like to keep it right in the middle there, because that will keep between 10 and 15 pounds, because that'll keep you in the safe zone. If you drop below 10 pounds, you have to start all over again, and that is no fun. You have to make sure you maintain that pressure. That is absolutely essential. So that's why I like to keep it between 10 and 15. You can see it's way below before the caution. So between 10 and 15, that gives you a little wiggle work to keep that pressure there. This will start to jiggle as the pressure builds up. You'll see that later when I catch up with you again. And a lot of these nowadays, I know a big reason why I didn't want to cam back in the day, I do now, and a lot of people are scared too, is they've seen where these pressure canners blow up and everything just, actually, mine, this one here, and a lot of them do nowadays, they do have a safety plug. That doesn't mean you should walk away and let that happen, because once again, you're going to lose everything you just did. But you don't have to be afraid of that. So you can see the pressure's already starting to build. You see that going up. I am going to catch up with you when we're between 10 and 15 pounds, and I will catch up with you then and let you know the next step. Thank you. Okay, so we're back. As you can see, we hit the 10-pound mark. We're just about in between the two. I am comfortable starting to mess around with the temperature. You might be like, yay, I hit the 10-pound mark. Let's start the countdown. We got to make sure we got the temperature right. Anyway, I can start the countdown for how long these jars need to be in there since it's reached 10 pounds. 90 minutes on chili for quart, 75 minutes for pint. So we have to keep this between above 10. I should keep it between 10 and 15 for 90 minutes now. You'll kind of hear this. That's exactly what will start happening when you reach 10 pounds. You hear that little... That's exactly what you want to hear. You know you're doing good. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn this down from high. I'm just going to turn it down a little bit. I'm going to start my timer and adjust the heat as needed between, high and low to keep that between that 10 and 15 pound mark. And I will catch up with you in 90 minutes, and I guess we'll see the results. And I hope nothing busted in there, and I hope they all seal. So Mike had a friend over today who left his Coke in the car. I told you the heat index is like 98. It's almost 90 or probably 90 in the house right now. He's went out to his car and this happened. Blew the lid right off of it. Got a little mess to clean up. We're all good, but yeah, it is warm up here today, folks. So it's been 90 minutes now. I'm doing quarts of chili. For pints to be 75. It's been 90 minutes now, so I can go ahead, turn this to off. And we gotta let this get all the way down to 0 degrees. Or zero pressure, sorry, 0 pressure. My mind's on degrees. It's 90 degrees in the house right now. Just trying to get through this. What my own mind would make me do chili on such a hot day. That may be doing chili to make it a little chillier in here. Just kidding. I actually had the day off, and we had the stuff to do it, and I started soaking the beans last night, and I just had to go through with it. Anyway, I've just turned that off, 90 minutes. Do not remove that. We need to let the pressure go down over time as it cools. And I will catch up with you at 0 degrees, or 0 pressure. Oh my gosh, heat is getting to me today. So, we got down to 0 pressure. So now you can go ahead and take the weight off. Once you do this, you have to wait 5 minutes before opening the lid. And we'll check that out when the 5 minutes is up. So it's been the 5 minutes after I took the weight off. After it was at 0 pressure. So we're going to go ahead and take the lid off now. When you take the lid off, you're just going to want to slide it whatever your open way is. But I'm going to tell you this now, when you open it, open the back away from you. This is hot. There's hot steam. This has been pressure can. This is crazy. So we're going to do that.
Perfect.
We got the lid off. Oof.
Oh, look at that.
This one may not have sealed. This might have been what we were smelling.
This one over here too.
Well, this one's got a ridge in it is what I'm looking at. The rest of these, no, they can take time to seal. This one probably won't seal. Nothing shattered. Nothing shattered, and that's what's great. Nothing shattered. So we're going to take these out. We got to wait 10 minutes now. When we take these out, I'm just going to set them off to the side. And if they don't seal, since nothing shattered, we can throw them in the fridge, and we'll have chili tomorrow night. Not a big deal. Hopefully the other 6 seal. But I'm pretty sure that one didn't seal.
Yeah, that's good.
That'll be a miracle if that one seals. But like I said, no shattering. That's the huge part. If that one would have shattered,
yeah, that would have been a bad deal.
all this would be done. So I'm still happy with it. We gotta set it for 10 minutes now, and then we can go ahead and take these jars out, and I'll catch up with you then. So it's been that 10 minutes now since you took the top off. I'll tell you now, I'm going to try to get this first one out first. I know this one's not going to seal. There's no way this is going to seal. The lid buckled. That doesn't mean it's no good. Nothing shattered in there. We're just going to let this sit for a little bit. Get this, you know, they're under a lot of pressure, a lot of heat. We're just going to let that cool down a little bit. Throw that in the fridge tonight. We have chili tomorrow night. It's not a huge deal. Stuff like that will happen. Let's hope the rest of these do a little bit better. Just want to get them out. Now you wait 12 hours before removing the rings. So we're going to wait 12 hours before removing the rings. And I know it's hard for you to see. Not having luck tonight to hear the pops like I did on the bing, bing, bings, like I did on the potato one. But there's little ridges or bumps in these. And as they cool down, they should lock up. I hope they lock up. I'll have to update you. I really hope they do. Otherwise, boy, we're going to be eating chili for about 2 weeks. But
Bring on the crackers.
anyway, like I said, these were dried beans. I let them soak overnight. You want to let them soak for about 8 hours. Put little beans in there. You cook the hamburger first. You pretty much make your chili like you'd make your chili. 90 minutes for a quart. 75 for a pint. You got get it steaming, let that do for 5 minutes. You got all that. If you have any questions, if I might have missed something or you didn't quite catch it, please comment, please share, please like, let me know. I'm more than willing to help you out. This is why I want to do this. And please subscribe so I know I'm not wasting my time. I will tell you this, the time it took me to do these 7 jars, trying to record it, trying to talk about it, me doing 7 jars, it takes a lot longer to bring this information to you. And I have no issues with that as long as I know someone's getting something out of it. So, like I said, if you have any questions, comment. If you like it, like it. If you know someone that love it, share it. And if you want to see more of this stuff, subscribe. And I'll bring you more. I think with these temperatures, I think it's 90-some degrees in the house today. I think tomorrow I might be doing some homemade bread videos because I know that'll rise like crazy. And I'll catch up with you then. Thank you. So I'm back. I ended up doing this chili over a couple days. It was so hot the other day. I couldn't do another load. It was in the 90s in the house. It's cooled down a little bit. Back down to the lower 80s in the house. Anyway, I ended up with 14 quarts of chili. They all sealed, even the one with the buckle, but I did not trust that one. So we just went ahead and put that one in the fridge, and Mike and I ate that one up for dinner last night. Stay tuned. I still got a bunch of beans to get to here in just a minute, but thank you for watching, and hopefully you'll check back later.